I speak 12 languages. Here's what I do to learn languages fast. First, I start with sentences. Straight away, not random vocab. I start learning sentences I want to be able to say in real conversations. I write down everything I want to be able to say in the language, then I translate those sentences and I memorize them. I'm talking about thousands of sentences. First, I learn around 1,000 sentences, which are my core sentences to learn to speak, to get conversational. And then I learn between 5 and 10,000 sentences. So I don't study any grammar at all. I simply learn more and more sentences, and all the grammar that I will need to use, I learn them in context with those sentences. How do I learn those sentences? So I write down everything I want to be able to say, I translate it into the target language, I create audio files, and I read and listen and repeat those sentences over and over and over again. And that's how I build fluency fast. Second, I learn vocabulary in bulk. I don't wait for words to show up naturally like most people hoping to learn with comprehensible input and all of that. No, I attack vocabulary lists from day one, vocabulary from the sentences I want to learn, and I memorize them. You need thousands of words to really understand what you hear. So I use mnemonic associations and word families to speed up the process, because otherwise comprehensible input will never be comprehensible if you don't know enough words. You need between 5,000 and 10,000 words to understand the language relatively well. That should be your target. And you can learn that many words much faster than you think if you use mnemonic associations, word families, and a lot of reviewing. Third, I train my speaking. Speaking is a physical skill. You need to train it. You need to practice. If you don't practice it, you won't improve. So I don't just consume content, I train my speaking skills. I do a lot of shadowing. I repeat my sentences again and again and again until I can say them clearly, confidently, and without thinking. Number 4, I use translation. Translation is one of the most powerful tools in language learning. I take my sentences in my native language, then I say them in the target language without looking at the translation, and then I check. Did I say it right? Doing this exercise again and again and making lots of mistakes and then getting instant feedback is the best way to learn to think in the language, to practice your fluency, and also to constantly get feedback and get corrected. Most of the mistakes you make, you'll get rid of them by doing this very quickly. And finally, I listen a lot, but not just anything. I don't binge watch content or listen to random stuff. I listen to the sentences I've translated, the ones I want to be able to say. I listen to those over and over and over again until I know them by heart. Then, and only then, do I move on to podcasts, videos, native content, because I've already built a solid foundation in the language. So those are the 5 things I do all the time to learn languages fast. That's what you need to do. You have to learn thousands of useful sentences with language islands. You have to learn tons of vocabulary with mnemonic associations and word families. You have to train your speaking with shadowing. You have to use translation for feedback and error correction. And you have to listen to the language a lot, but in a way that makes sense for a language learner. If you're not doing these things every single day, or at least regularly, you're not going to become fluent anytime soon. So you're wasting time. So if you're serious about language learning, you should start doing these things today. You can take my 7-day challenge and learn your first 150 real, useful conversation sentences in a week. Link in the description.